The Good Doctor is currently in its 5th season, and the show has been a tremendous success since it launched all the way back in 2017. Adapted from a Korean show, The Good Doctor has delighted fans with the stories it decides to tell, as well as the drama it brings every week. Will this be the last season? Will we hear "I do"? We're taking a look at the unanswered questions that fans are dying to know. Saylin's impact. Shaun is the new hospital administrator in season 5 and is living up to all the terrible stereotypes that people have of them. In episode 2, she caused Shaun to have another autistic meltdown and has been rubbing absolutely everybody the wrong way. Shaun is the typical administrator to a T, as she institutes policies that look good on paper but fail out in the real world. Even worse, her arrogance makes her insufferable to watch, as she believes that she knows more about patient care than the actual physicians, and as a result has hindered patients in several situations already. Here's hoping that she gets what's coming to her soon, as fans want to know why she's here and what role she'll play in the story. How will the show fill the space left by departed characters? Last season, we saw several actors leave the show and call it quits, which obviously meant that their characters are gone as well. One of these characters that sadly left the show was Claire Brown, as actor Antonio Thomas decided to move on from the show in order to focus on other aspects of her life. She stated in an interview with E! Thomas did leave the door open to a return, however, somewhere down the line. The season finale saw Claire deeply affected by their work in South America, so she decided to stay and help out more. Seems like the show's filling the void with more emphasis on side characters instead of adding in a ton of new cast members, a decision that I think we can all agree with. The show's always suffered from a lack of time for its side characters, and so with some space to fill, it's a no-brainer to expand from within. Will we hear "I do"? When we last left off, Shaun Murphy was reaffirming his love for Lea during a heartfelt engagement. Recent trailers have given us a peek into what we should expect for the season, and it's clear that the couple will have to work hard in order to get past the wedding ceremony. Trailer indicates that Shaun will make a heartfelt apology to Lea at the altar, but doesn't tell us if they both end up saying "I do." While it would be absolutely shocking if Shaun and Lea didn't end up married by season's end, you never know with a show like this. 2 episodes into the 5th season, and it seems that we're gonna have to wait to see what happens with the couple. Here's hoping that a happy ending awaits them, especially with rumors swirling around that this could be it. Speaking of which, will this be the last season? The Good Doctor's future could very much be in the air, at least judging by how it's been talked about by ABC. Rumors have swirled around that the studio is planning on canceling the beloved show after season 5, but at the end of the day, those are just rumors. It could very well go down to how this season performs if we get a 6th season, but it would suck if the show ended without being properly wrapped up. I think fans of the show have earned a chance to see their characters essentially take a bow and have a real ending. If this is it though, how would all that look? Through the first 2 episodes, it feels like this show still has plenty of life in it, and the hope of many fans is that this is not their last go-around with this wonderful array of characters. Here's hoping. Get yourself comfy, because we're about to dive into Dr. Audrey Lim's PTSD, Lea's pregnancy, Shaun's mental state, and more right now. Dr. Audrey Lim's PTSD. We have seen plenty of medical dramas explore the lives of doctors when they aren't wearing the big white coat. However, it's far rarer for a show to document the psychological damage that the profession can have on people, something that the Good Doctor writers have done with Dr. Audrey Lim in the past. We saw Dr. Lim devastated after months of seeing people die from COVID-19, but it was left largely untouched afterward. Fans are curious if the show will explore the help she is receiving to combat the traumas she's faced. Hopefully, it'll become a bigger storyline in season 5. The Guatemala situation. There was a lot of fallout from the Guatemala trip for the characters of the Good Doctor, and the biggest among them was Dr. Claire Brown deciding to stay and help while the show went back to the hospital with the main cast. While we know the whole thing came about because of Dr. Brown's actor leaving the show, it was a perfect decision for the writers and fit her character so well, especially because it was clear that her passion to help was rekindled on the trip. Although fans know we won't see her return at least this season, many want an update or 2 on how she's doing. Some shows in the past have refused to do this for a variety of reasons, but I feel like it would be fitting for her character to still be referenced even though her time at the hospital may have come to an end. What about Dr. Ozma? We got our first look at Dr. Ozma at the end of last season during the finale, and immediately it became clear that there was some sort of bond between Dr. Lim and him. Some thought that we could get some small fling and that was it, but now Dr. Ozma has been named a regular on season 5 and hopes to play a role in the proceedings in some capacity. Fans are curious as to what his purpose on the show will be and if he'll get any kind of significant arc this season, possibly with Dr. Lim. Some fans even hope that Dr. Ozma will force Dr. Lim to explore her PTSD even more, making for some interesting and truly captivating television. Lea's pregnancy. Unfortunately, in many ways, Lea has not had the best storylines in the show for the most part, and fans are hoping that all changes now that Shaun and her seem to feature prominently this season. Last season, we saw Lea suffer a miscarriage that provided some serious tragedy for the show and their relationship. This, however, led her and Shaun to the engagement, and she realized she wanted to go through the good and the bad with Shaun at her side. Now that they seem happy together, many are hoping that another pregnancy arc, leading to Shaun and Lea becoming parents, happens this season in order to get the sour taste of that horrifying time out of their mouth. With the marriage seemingly happening this season as well, it's hard to imagine their lives getting even more complicated, but it could lead to some truly great television if they doubled up on the couple's story. Glassman's role. Glassman fills that role of the grizzled old man that is 1 foot out the door and into retirement. He served in some ways as a parental figure to Shaun at times, and his primary reason for staying at the hospital seems almost exclusively for Shaun. In season 5, with the introduction of Ceylon and the animosity that she brings, she has forced Glassman to take on a new role at the hospital, and fans are curious how this will shake things up for the guy. Many think that this could be his last season as he grows more and more tired by the hospital and its workings. He is in a position where he sort of has to get in the middle of Shaun and Ceylon too, which should add some new wrinkles to the season that many didn't expect. Shaun's mental state. Even before the season began, the writers of The Good Doctor were teasing an internal struggle that Shaun would have to deal with at the hospital. Turns out that struggle appeared in the form of Ceylon. Is that all? Shaun, being on the autism spectrum, has been a point of tension at times as he struggles to keep things together and moving smoothly at the hospital. And there is some legitimate animosity between him and the new administrator. Shaun already has more hospital experience at his young age than Ceylon, but she has all the power at the healthcare facility. As things continue to boil over, fans are curious to see if we will see a new side of Shaun, especially since the engagement brings upon even more external stress that he's bringing into the hospital. We'll have to see how the doctor manages all the new moving parts in his life, and if it affects his performance as a physician. And that's all for the video. Did we get to all the questions that you guys have been wondering? What do you think of the season so far? Leave a comment down below and let us know. As always, leave a like and subscribe for more videos about The Good Doctor and more. Bye now.